tapping into the yeah, man, yeah. That's like, nah, that's the original intro that we used to do, but this is Jazz and Keys. Jazz and Keys live and direct, y'all. You know what I mean? How y'all feeling today? Hope y'all doing good. How you feeling, Jazz? How you feeling, man?
Ote.
Ote?
You remember that? Little
I
Rascals.
do, I do, I do. Yes,
Hey yo,
indeed.
you ever seen the original Little Rascals? Like the black and white?
My mother, she grew up on the Little Rascal, so yes, yes. Hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you
Mm-hmm.
had buckwheat. I was thinking about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Buckwheat and alfalfa.
True indeed. True
But
indeed.
these are two grains. Buckwheat is actual grain, and
Uh-huh.
so is alfalfa.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So I
Explain to
wonder
people.
what
Explain to people what you mean by grain. Like, you know what I mean?
like bread is from grains, rice is a grain.
Yes. But when you think about the Little Rascals, well, for me, I don't. That's the only people I really think about is alfalfa and buckwheat, the ones that stood
Yeah.
out. You know.
Oh, wasn't I feel like there was one named Ralphie. That was like the or am I
Maybe.
tripping? Or am I tripping?
No, no. You maybe. I mean, hey, you would know better than me because I don't remember hardly anything in that nature. But
You know what's
whatever.
crazy? Hold up, now that I'm thinking about it, do you remember back in the day? I want to say like Channel 54. They would play like they would play like what's that I want to say it's like bonsai, with the sheriff and the horse. You know what I'm talking about? They play
Bonsai.
Yeah, like bonsai. They play like black and white shows. I remember
Okay.
watching that. Dagwood. You remember that?
Dagwood? No,
Dagwood.
no.
It's that. Funny thing is, it actually is a comic strip.
Wow.
They
Really?
turned it into a show. Yeah, they
Wow.
would they play stuff like what is it the Masked Ranger.
Okay. Okay.
Um, they play stuff like the original King Kong, black and white.
Okay.
You
I
ever
don't
seen it?
remember that. Don't remember that though.
Yeah, dog. They used to play all that old stuff on
Mm.
just regular TV. I
Mm.
remember watching that, watching the original Nutty Professor
Mm.
with
Mm.
Jerry Lee Lewis. You ever seen that?
Haven't. Haven't.
Wow, wow, wow.
I,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Dagwood. I think the comic strip is Blondie.
I do remember Blondie, the comic strip. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
and she was
Yeah.
married to Dagwood,
Okay.
but that was
Okay.
actually it was a show too.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that. I always seen the comic strip that it was like was the comic strip kind of weird. It like looked a little like the guy looked a little rusty, crusty, or he had like this chin, and he was just like
Yeah,
I
he
don't
he
know.
he looked he definitely got Blondie. He was out of his league.
Okay, okay, got you, got you,
You know what I
got you.
mean?
Yeah,
Think like you
yeah.
you see like a oi, one of them kind of guys with like a with like a fox. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Oh
yo, how
man.
he must got a good job. How he get her?
Oh man. Shout out to you, man, wearing the Doctor Doom Akio's
Mm.
limited edition, created in 2021. What happened to the golden strings that
It's
was on?
actually it's in my bag. It's in my dust
Hmm.
bag that I keep this in.
Okay,
Um,
so do you occasionally like if you was to go somewhere, would you pop the gold strings in, or was it more so like you wanted to be like kind of like low key, settled or
it depends. It depends. Right now, I'm actually looking to either 3D print or find something that has like the circle
indeed?
when chain. Right here, circle chain. The complete the Doom look.
Oh, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. I love that. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know, if you look at a few podcast episodes on the Yeah Man Yeah podcast, I discuss how Jazz is secretly low key a designer. Seeing Jazz wearing the baseball jeans or whatever. This is like in 2001. Um, this guy, man, he's been an innovator and a creator as well. And he also inspired me for when I seen his baseball patch jeans to do some jeans of my own, which I've commissioned, or I guess you could say commissioned. I have allowed BJ, which Jazz had told me that this guy had made his pants. And I said, okay, well, I got some NBA sheets. I want to be able to have my logos on the jeans. And then when I showed the Jazz, I was very disappointed. I said, man, yo, he ain't even put all the teams on here, dog. Like, it don't even look like yours, man. Yours is decked out. I said, why yo do me like that? And he was like, yo, why don't you do it yourself? I said, what you mean? He was like, yo, all you need is, you told me what I needed. And then I went on ahead, as what Dapper Dan says. I went home in the lab, scienced it out, created something dope, and that's what started the creative journey. So he's Jazz is more so a part of uh, my creative endeavors since the very beginning. You get what I'm saying? Like I've always was making stuff, but when I seen that, and it's funny because here we are, years later. We graduated in 2002. Here it is, it's 2023, and we're still connected. We still also had teamed up on the superhero series. Jazz had nudged me in the shoulder, was like, "Hey, yo, look, I just need your logo on the chest, and I need the Black Panther comic book on the back. You know what I mean? That's all I
I
need,
wish on the
dog."
back.
And
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, bet, man." You know what I mean? And then I was looking at it, and I was like, "Yo, Jazz, yo, you mind if I, get, a different comic book to put on there?" He said, "Keo, like, yo, like, yeah, yo, you the creator, man. You do you, man. You know what I mean?" And that's when I connected the dots. I connected the dots between how my mother, she have allowed me to, collect comic books and all that other stuff of that nature. But so thank you, Jazz. Thank you for. I was just thinking about that today as I was scrolling through photos from 2020, and I was just like, wow, man. So, and the comic book thing was a hit. It was a hit, and you still got
Hmm.
it on. So, salute to you, bro. Salute to you.
No, man, that was just a vessel um, for God to put it on your head, but
Indeed.
it was already there. You know what I mean?
Listen to what you just said. I was just a vessel for God to put it on your head. And here it is, you got the fear of God, you know what I'm saying, hat on your head. And I was just talking about Jerry Lorenzo in my business meeting today. Um, and I was just talking about, you know, I wanted to take a step back from being a machine, and how I have two different brands, which is now the Hearts and Heroes is more so of like the studio space, but it can be a brand that can come out of that, or merch that can come out of that Hearts and Heroes studios. But Akio's Glorious Heroes is more of the essentials, and the Fear of God is more of, for me, like the old or Hearts and Heroes. It just depends, what I mean, on what's created. But yeah, dog. You know what I'm saying? Everything cool over there? You back, you wiping away
No,
flies?
I thought no, I thought I saw something, but it was
Mm.
just like a little like a wisp. I don't know.
But,
It was weird. It was weird.
speaking of, saw something. I was on my 4 a.m. sessions, and I
Mm,
shouted you out. I talked about how, prophetic dreams, it kind of like runs in families. And, you got a family member, whether they're a grandmother, whether they're a grandpa, uncle, whoever, or even young, niece, nephew, grandchild, something about how sometimes dreams can come in, different forms of a prophetic or psychic. Um, we can have these abilities to get glimpses of the future. And I shared with my audience that I said, yo, I would love to, touch bases on that in today's episode. If you feel like you want to elaborate on your experiences of the prophetic dream. You know what I mean? Of
mm,
course, I know it's a sensitive topic, but and we talked about this before, but
mm,
now that we're in the YouTube world,
mm.
it's a different footprint. So if you want to elaborate, go on ahead, Chaz.
Elaborate in regards to me telling some prophetic dreams I've had, or just what it entails. You know what I mean?
Well, you can start by talking about maybe how you feel about it, and if you feel comfortable,
Mm.
you can talk about your experience. But the floor is yours.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely believe in prophetic dreams because I've had a few. The most notable one is of I kept dreaming. Each night was like a continuation of the dream the night before, and to the point of like freaked me out. So I had a dream that it was like somebody in the bathroom, like on the toilet. For the dream, all I could remember seeing was just their feet. The next night was like feet and lower leg, like the shins, up to the knee. The next night, I see their legs, their bare legs. The next night, the body, like it just kept going. I had like so a week straight. I had this dream, and uh, I remember seeing like the body was a female, and I remembered I knew the bathroom was my grandmother's bathroom, and I remember telling my mom, I said, "Man, I keep having this dream that somebody is in grandma's bathroom, like they're in the bathroom, and they look sleep, right?" Kept telling my mom this, and I want to say like a couple days later, my aunt had overdosed in the bathroom, you know, just as I had seen her, So it was kind of freaky, man. I ain't gonna hold you. It was weird. It was freaky and and scary. It's scary, bro. So yeah, I believe in it for sure. Only reason I think I do believe in it because it has happened to me. I mean, it's something different from when you go to sleep and you have one of those real dreams. I remember having a dream. I had all these tennis shoes, right? And I woke up and I remember looking in my closet. I'm like, "Where's my shoes?" But that was what just one of them realistic dreams. Funny enough, though, um, as funny enough, I actually end up with a closet full of shoes. But it wasn't like that though. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just that was. I don't. Maybe that was prophetic.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, man. But yeah, I've had dreams like that where I've dreamt something and it was so vivid that it felt real. And then I've had dreams where I'll have a recurring dream, and then what I dreamt actually comes to pass.
Mm.
It
Mm.
comes to fruition. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Have you
indeed.
have you had any of those? And I
I
didn't
mean,
watch. I didn't watch that particular video that you
okay.
did. So
Yeah, because I mentioned you in there. But yeah, as I discussed beforehand about, well, in the previous video, and before I continue, shout out to the three people that's on here. I don't even know how y'all on here this early, but we appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all. If y'all got any questions, be sure to just leave it in the comment box. We'll try to, respond to it accordingly. But yeah, I did talk about the dreams that I've had, like you said, many of them to name a few. But the one in particular I highlight on, and I'll kind of like, you know, get you up to speed. I talked about my old neighbors that I've had, dreams about. This my neighbor, she is from Lucknow, India. My previous neighbor, and the last time I seen her was at Easter, and I had a dream about her randomly. And I remember waking up from my dream and explaining it to the previous, person who I used to date, who I had a dream about randomly. And I was like, "Why she popped up in my dream?" And I'm glad I shared that with her because as I walked the person who I was dating to the car, came back. I was in the stairwell, looked at my phone, and it was from my other neighbor. She was an older lady, and she was saying, "Hey, Keo, I need you. It's an emergency. Tom is locked up because it was too many calls that was responded because they both would drink a lot." And she was like, "I feel so bad. Can you come by the apartment?" And I was like, whoa, like, what are you talking about, right? So I was contemplating on even going to the apartment, but I was still in the stairwell, and I'm just like staring at my phone. I think I was scrolling through social media in the stairwell, and some the spirit just told me like, "Yo, check on that person." So I did. I went on the second floor, checked on him, and she was like, "I feel so bad." She was shaking and trembling, and she was already like ill from the drinking. So um, I was treating it with care, and she was like, "I just want to pick out a dress because it was an annual festival that was right across the street. I want to pick out a dress for Tom when he comes back because I feel so bad that one of us had to go, and she started it, and she felt bad that he had went. So when he come back, she wanted to like make him feel comfortable. So I said, okay, all right, I'll help you pick out a dress. And before I could even say yes or no, she already shut the door for us to get on the elevator. I'm like, why she want to go on the elevator? We could just go down the steps. But
Mm.
again, she wasn't feeling too well, so she got to, preserve her energy. So we gets on the elevator, going down one floor, and the elevator doors open, and when the elevator doors open, there stood the neighbor that I had just dreamt about the previous night that I didn't see in months. It was June where the annual festival takes place. And the last time I seen this person was like in March and April. And how ironic. She had a luggage. She said, I just flew. Oh, hey, Keo, I just flew back from Lucknow, India because she was stuck because she had to get like a visa or something like that. And
Mm.
that's why it took us so long to come back to the States. But I wanted to say in that moment, I just dreamt about you last night. But it would have been weird. I eventually told her about it because that's when I started having more dreams. And I said, I'm not going to ever hesitate for telling nobody. So anyway, I walked the lady to the, I said, all right, I'll talk to you later. Walked the lady to, get her dress. She said, okay, Akio, I can take it from here, but thank you so much. I said, okay, cool. And it was another incident where I had dreamed about another friend who his name was Tavon. You probably know about Tavon. Tavon's from Lambeau and Barkley, and him and I, we was like how you and I are. Tavon was wild though, man. And Tavon, he helped me with starting a line called Ages before the feds raided my house in 2004. And I had a dream about him randomly, and I was at the Hazelwood in Sedonia, and I remember I was still with this same person who I used to date. And I would wake up and talk about my dreams. And it got to the point where I would talk about them so much that she was looking forward to actually hearing the dream. So I told her again about the dream that I had prior to the night before. We went to Hazelwood, and it was this guy that was standing in the jukebox. And it was like a digital jukebox, not one of them old joints.
Mm.
And I just seen this silhouette of a guy standing in the shadows. I couldn't make up for what he is because Tavon was like Jamaican. He was black. That's why his nickname was Black. And I'm trying to understand who this guy is because he got a bald head. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I said, man, forget it. I'm about to, see what's up. So I walked, and he met me halfway. And when he walked, the light revealed. It was Tavon. I said, whoa, I ain't see you in years. And I just realized, I said, wait a minute, hold up, yo. I said, yo, come with me, come with me. You know what I mean? And we was holding each other and all that. And I shared with the person who I was dating. I said, I want to ask you one question, so that way he won't know that I'm making this up. Who did I dream about last night? And she said, she was like, because she was eating. So she was like, who is this stranger? I said, think of the person's name. I think his name was Black Tavon. I said, guess who this is? She says, shut up, shut up. And she was shaking, and she was like, yo. And I said, yo, I told you, I wanted to tell you, but I didn't want to, I want you to just, she said, I said, yo, that's crazy. So I walked him over there to where he was at, and I met his lady for the first time, but I ain't seen him in years.
Mm.
Now, those two individuals, and I realized this by sharing this today. Tom's wife, she had passed away in that same apartment. You know, I'm talking about this is probably like months after.
Mm.
And he's better now because that was like years ago. That was like in 2017. He's better now. He's grown to love again. Rest in peace to Tavon Black. He had got killed in 2019.
Mm.
And the person who I was dating, she was in New Orleans. So I was able to. I wasn't driving at the time. I didn't own my own vehicle, so I was able to take her car and go to his. I couldn't go to the funeral because I had to work and I couldn't take off, but I did manage to go to his wake. I mean the viewing, seeing a lot of my old friends. And but then the day I was thinking about those dreams as I was talking about that today, and I was like, wait a minute, could that have been like warnings that these and it's wild. Then I'm talking. Now I'm hearing your story. Now I'm hearing my story. Could these been like warnings towards individuals that are about to transition? Or again, our time is different from other times in the universe or God's time. Like we are, we what they say, and correct me for my ignorance if I'm wrong, but they talk about how a month, a day is a years or something like that, supposedly in the spiritual realm or something like that. So could it very well be? Because I joked about my mother too, and I talked about this, and I joked about her on 3 occasions, and I remember every last single one of them. And one of them, she was mad at me, and she didn't want me to interact with this individual, and I didn't. Ah, man, I don't want to talk. I want to talk about that dream. That dream, dog, because I've been talking for so long. But that was
No,
another
no,
thing
no,
that
no.
happened,
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
man. Okay, 3 different occasions. The first occasion was we were in my old spot on Old York Road. Ladies and gentlemen, that's those who are not from Baltimore. Old York Road is not too far from where Tupac lived when he was in Baltimore, and we lived on 4805 Old York Road. When we lived on Old York Road, as I talked about in previous podcasts before, we had moved with my aunt because we had to flee Bond Street, and we only can take the things that we can hold on to. So that's why all my comic books and all that stuff, I had to leave that behind. So resurfacing when Jazz was, like I said earlier, when he said, "Yo, I want the Black Panther comic book," you don't even know, Jazz, how that helped me connect with um, some things that me and my mother really loved and appreciated. So thank you for that. I didn't want to go all that before I get into the story. So anyway, on Yo York Road, we were in the dream. We were in that house, and it was weird. And I remember I was in the front section of the room upstairs with this young lady. This young lady, I'm not going to mention her name, but let's just say we was doing everything under the sun in that room. And I gets out that room, and my mother was sweeping, and she was just looking at me like, like judging. And I was like, "What, ma?" And she's like, uh, uh, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I was like, "Yo," it was weird because she knew exactly what I was doing. She was just sweeping and cleaning, and I was like,
Hold
"Okay."
on, hold on. Is this? Oh, I'm sorry. Now, is this a dream or this is real?
This is a dream. My dreams be vivid. My dreams be very
Okay,
vivid, yo.
okay.
This is
All
a
right,
dream. See,
all right,
see,
all
see how
right.
you just said that. That's how the person who I used to date be like.
Mm,
She used to just sit there and just listen to my dreams, dog. Right.
mm.
So yes, yo. And the reason I remember them so vividly is because I write them down. Right. So anyway, I goes down the stairs, and for whatever reason, the girl disappeared, and I seen this other person who I used to deal with, and she was upset that I had let her go, and all of a sudden, um, it started raining, and I had an umbrella. I was trying to, you know, protect her, and she just walked off, and I woke up. I said that was weird. So it started getting warm, and I remember walking on St. Paul Street near the Hopkins University campus, and I wanted to get some coffee. And being that it was warm, I said, "Well, I'm not going to get the hot coffee because it's warm now." So I goes and I gets the caramel macchiato. I remember this day. I remember this like it's crazy. Like it was yesterday. And this was like years ago, dog. This was like in 2016, maybe 2017. I got the caramel macchiato, but I got like the whipped cream and the caramel
Mm,
inside. It was the ice joint.
mm.
I walks outside and I had the straw still in the wrapper. So I'm looking at the tasty beverage, and I open up the store and threw the joint away, put the straw inside the cup. I'm sipping it, and then I look up, and how about it was the very same girl that I was in the room with. And in that moment, in that situation, what I was going through, I had a decision because that's before I started dating the person who I was with, that I was in the most recent long term relationship with. So I had the decision whether I should interact with that person or interact with this person. But I feel like even though things had went the other way with me dealing with the past situation, past relationship, maybe I had to go through that. But my mother didn't approve of this one woman. So I'm looking at her, right? She had on these yoga pants. And she was very, very curvaceous and voluptuous. So I'm just looking, I'm like, I wanted to so bad to stop her. But the only thing that stopped me from hollering at her was the dream that I had that my mother didn't like her. And as I'm walking, I calls Al Gordy. Shout out to Al Gordy, because he's my witness. I calls Al Gordy, and cause I told Al Gordy about the dream. I said, "Yo, my mother was in my dream, and I dreamed about this girl." And I showed him the girl IG. He's like, "Yo, she bad." I was like, "Yeah." So I calls him up. I said, "Yo, I couldn't even get it out." I said, "Guess who I just seen, yo, randomly, yo?" He's like, "Yo, call." And I said, "No, yo, guess who I just seen, yo?" He said, "I don't know, yo." I said, "Yo, Miami." Who was I talking to you about who was from Miami? He said, "You talking about, I don't know, you talking about, oh." He said, I said, "Yo, I just ran into her, dog, and she had these yoga pants on, dog, but the only reason why I holler is why." He said, "Because your mom told her no." He said, "No." I said, "Yeah." And as I'm talking on the phone with him, I'm still like in awe. And I see the running man. I see the running man
Mm.
running, and then I'm on the phone with him. I said, "Yo, wait a minute! I just see the running man." I said, "Yo, I got an idea, and this is like 2017." I said, "I got an idea to create a comic book. Yo, I gotta find a way to meet up with him." And I walked all the way down to 20. What was that? 20. Wherever he was. I'm not gonna name the streets because I ain't gonna know. You know what I mean, those who are. But it was like near 29th, and I walked all the way near, towards almost where Drew Hill Park is, because he runs slow, so you can catch up
Oh,
with him.
yeah, that's
You
a
know,
little bop though.
it is from Charles Street
Mm-hmm.
to where we're almost, but I let him go. And at that time I got off the phone. But that was an incident that, and guess what? I finally had the courage to DM the person I'm talking about, sharing with her the message, sharing with her the dream that I had. And she said, "I wish." You know what she told me? She
Mm.
said, "I wish you would have told me that," because she don't necessarily. She'll live in Baltimore anymore. I'm not gonna mention where she lived at, but she basically said, "I wish you would have told me that. I wish you would have told me." And I'm saying, "Huh? If I would have told you that, things would have went another way, right? But who's to say that that way was the right way? Who's to say if
Mm.
I would have went the other way, that things would have, Because I remember when I first met her, it never was really like a flow. It was something that happened when we got into, and she can agree to this. We got into not a heated debate or discussion, but we didn't leave off. We didn't leave off the right note. But as we continue to stay connected, she understood the person who I was, because I think I met her at a bar, and you can't really meet a person where they are at a bar. You think that you know a person, but when you sober up and you get a chance to see a person's how they've been interacting, their motives, then you start to say, "Okay, wow, this person is cool," and that's what happened. But it was moments that passed that we didn't ever get a chance to reconnect, but we always stayed in contact via, and we cool. But I was just like, "Yo, that's wow!" Like, how? Why was she? Because I said, "Yo," I finally had the courage, because I started telling people. I started. That's the same day that I told my neighbor that when there was a lockdown in India that I joked about. I said, "I'm gonna just start sharing with people that I had, that I dreamt about them." It might sound weird, but that's what it is. And it's another incident too, but that's another story for another time. About, I thought somebody took my keys, and this one individual, he didn't even do it. But and it's wild how the dreams are, and I just be wondering if people be having the same experiences. And if they haven't, then maybe they have, but they haven't been knowledgeable of it because of the everyday life of not getting the proper sleep. But we can train our minds to, I sound like I'm not gonna say Tom Cruise, but I sound like somebody. We can train our minds to do it, but nah. But it's
No,
real
it's a
rap.
fact.
It's
It's
real.
a fact because what you were actually saying, I was thinking, is it possible that it's like manifestation kind of? Because sometimes and I'm sure this has happened to you too. Maybe you'll think about someone while you're conscious. Think
Mm-hmm.
about somebody or think about something, and then like the next day or two, you get in contact with them. You know
Very
what I
well
mean?
could
Like
be.
they'll call you up. Or I remember one time oh man, I was in the conspiracy theories like heavy, right? And this is around the time when everybody was saying like Jay-Z was a Mason. Everybody was a Mason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just and the crazy thing was I lived next door to a Mason. And he had all these symbols on his card. I used to wonder what they meant, right? But anyway, so I used to work downtown for years in Phoenix, right? And I just remember, I mean, I was just thinking about Masonic, the Mason Temple, the whole nine for days. And one time, look, keep in mind, I worked downtown for years, right? But I just happened to go down a different street this time because I wanted to get something to eat. And I'm like, what is, I never noticed this place before. This building. I look up, a Masonic Lodge, right there. And I've been working down there for years and never noticed it until
Mm-hmm.
then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just like this place. I looked up, oh damn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it just could be
Manifestation.
just manifestation?
I do. I do. I think that, like I said, like sometimes it can be manifestation, sometimes it can be, because when we are, Lord only knows, yo, like the power that us human beings really possess. And when you're laying down, you're in a submissive state. You're able to really like recollect your thoughts and whatever you have on your mind and your conscious. It plays out like a movie in your dreams. And then the mind is so powerful. Like, you hear about like speeches and people talking about how, or it's even biblical, you can speak life, and life and death is in the power of the tongue. And, a man or woman thinketh, so
So
is
is
he or
he.
she.
Yep.
So in those thoughts that you're thinking, that you're contemplating, and you're internalizing that thought, when you're dreaming, that thought only increases in emotion. And when you think about, in many incidences where me and my previous coworker Pat, we would talk about people. He would talk about how he would be on the block, and he would talk about a person, they'll come straight up, or many incidences may happen and the incident will come about. But I feel like it's the internal thought attached to the emotion and the intensity of the emotion that allows that to actually strengthen, and that frequency or that vibration, whatever you want to call it. And this is just my guess, this is not fact. I feel like that intensifies from the emotion and the feelings that you felt, and then that brings along exactly what you materialize in your thought, or that kind of like brings forth, you know, um, the vision. You know what I mean? The vision that you've had, and you can do that with any and everything in your life. You can do that not only with just with dreams, but it's what we call vision boards, right? Or it's funny because as I was looking at some of these images that I was trying to take from off my laptop and actually upload them on YouTube, I started uploading private videos on my YouTube because I'm trying to free up the space on my laptop so where I can, utilize the webcam because I need to install these programs into my computer. So I'm just looking at old stuff, dog. And I remember I wrote this long list of individuals that this guy had told me to do. This guy here owned a company, Slides USA, and it's located in Boston. And I remember when I had my talk in Boston with Moonlighters, I told my old supervisor that I was going to go to Boston, and he tells me, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to connect you with a friend of mine that I went to school with. He has a company called Slide USA. It's very popular. Athletes wear his slides. So I would like to connect you with him if you can manage to, meet with him while you have your trip in Boston." I said, "Okay, cool." The guy responded to the email quickly. He said he would love to meet me. Got him on the phone with him. He said, "Hey, man, so what celebrities?" He said, "Name a whole list of celebrities you would like to like do stuff for." And I gave him the whole list and I sent it out to him. And you know what he emailed me back? He said, "Hey man, well, let's start with C or D, B or C or D. list celebrities. And I said, okay, so why did you, what's the point here, right? So then when I got out there, I had my speech, talked to several people that was at the library about my life, and that video is on YouTube. It's called "When I Wanted Out My 9 to 5." I put partial segments of that interview and chopped it up. But the next day, I had a scheduled meeting with the guy, the owner of Slide USA, and he had to reschedule the meeting, and I already was in the Uber on my way to him, and he said, "Hey man, we got to reschedule." I'm like, "Hey, Doug, you could at least told me it's cold as all the water
Hmm.
in Boston." So anyway, I was just thinking, it's funny, right? Because that was before I did stuff for Dr. Dre. I was looking at this list, and it goes along with what we're talking about here. Because I ain't looked at that list since 2019, since I wrote it. Right? Looked at the list. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Jeez, yo, we froze. So yeah, I was looking at the list, and there we go. There we go. You back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Woo,
All
woo, that
right.
was close. All right.
Somebody
So
called you or what?
no, no, my joint, my joint was on. Your joint disconnected,
Oh, wow.
but
That was
because you was froze. But no,
mm,
I was looking at the list today. And it was from 2019, and about a few people that I put on that list, I've done stuff for that I would never had imagined when I wrote that list in 2019. So really, he was used as a vessel for me to identify who I wanted to design stuff for. Right, even though that him and I didn't meet, that list alone with those individuals that were on there, Will Smith was one of them. 2019, I would have never thought I would have did something with Will Smith, let alone do something for the show Bella at Peacock, right?
mhm.
Dr. Dre was another one. 2019, I wrote the list. I didn't do something for Dr. Dre till 2020. You know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy because when this stuff started happening, Pat, my homie Pat was like, "Hey, yo, whatever happened?" Because Pat got a good memory. "Hey, yo, whatever happened to that guy for Spy USA?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Yo, did you message him that you did stuff for Dr. Dre and all this?" I said, "Nah, I ain't do all that." He said, "Yo, I would," because that was the same people that he
Yeah.
was. You know what I
He
mean?
got a point there. You should reach out to him.
Yeah, because the one person that he said that he wanted to do in the article was Kevin Hart. And at the time, I already did something for Kevin Hart because I did something for Kevin Hart in 2018.
Mm.
And he said the one person he would love to give slides to is Kevin Hart. And I guess I already had that one up on him. I guess if you want to classify that, it's no competition. I don't look at it as competition. But it's like I wanted to collaborate with him because he's done the same with Serato. Serato's from Baltimore. He's a dope sneaker artist. And I'm like, yo, like we collaborate with artists from Baltimore, and your friend who was my old supervisor connected you with me. Why not? Let's make it happen. But things happen in divine time, and that was like the past. I feel like what God has for you is for you, and what had happened, how things needed to move in a way. If I send something to him, it's to me that's like more so a brag, like a flex, like yo, look what I did.
No, I would just I would reach out because it just like they say as a thin line between love and hate, as a thin line between being braggadocious and just stating the facts.
Facts.
You know what I
Facts.
mean? But I mean, you definitely could come at him maybe more so thanking him for the list,
To bring, yep,
to kind of materialize things that came to fruition.
yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and also saying, hey, maybe we can collaborate on something.
Again, okay, I'll think about. Yeah, I'll definitely do that because maybe the list that I created, it was still people that he wanted to do for himself, rather than me doing it off the break. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? And then like the people that he done stuff for, and now that I've been doing stuff for different other people or people that is connected to these individuals, now I can see how that was pose a challenge, right? Because a lot of these transactions that take place, there's no cakewalk.
Hmm.
People see the end they see the end byproduct or the end results on social media, but there's so much more that goes into it. You know,
I got a question for you. Was Virgil on that list?
Virgil was on that list. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull the list up.
Hold on. While you're doing that, so you heard about Pharrell, right?
I did, I did. I heard about it the same day. I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying?
So
Amazing.
Look, and so you did something for Pharrell, right?
I did, and Pharrell was on that list as well. That's the
Look,
crazy thing.
but check this out. Now, I can we can't talk about it, but I know you got something in the works as
Yes,
well, right?
yes, yes.
So, so you it kind of is like Virgil adjacent.
It is. It is. It is. It is. Ah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Hmm.
Okay, so now that you mentioned that, let's go to this list. Let's
All
go to
right,
this list. Okay,
all right.
you see Tyler Perry, Oprah,
Mm-hmm.
Obama family, Oprah, Whoopi Goldberg, J.D. Pickett Smith, Will Smith, check. Jim Carrey, Jay Z, Beyonce, Pharrell Williams, check. Solange, Emery, Javante Davis, Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Chris Rock, check.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy, Damon Wayans, DJ Khaled, Meek Mill, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg. Yeah, somebody did contact me to do ASAP Ferg, but it didn't go through just yet. Jordan Peele, you can kind of say I did stuff.
Yep.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Ryan Coogler, Jonah Hill, Pharrell, Will Ferrell, Carmelo Anthony, Lenny Kravitz, Chadwick Boseman. He was on the list.
Uh,
You know, like Robert Downey. What are you about to say? What you
I
about?
was gonna say, well, I mean, you didn't do anything for, but I would say, his honor has been done.
Yes, yes, because how ironic when this list was created, it was created in 2019. But as you and I know, when we were creating those Black Panther um, shirts, and then I was on social media all summer, but then when I finally got on social media August 20th to take over Visit Baltimore, people seen the shirts that I was actually wearing, or some of the ones that you and I designed with the Black Panther. People was like, yo, no, we need to get on that. What's good with that? And I was like, all right, and I kind of gave in on August 26th. I said, okay, y'all, this weekend I'm going to launch the first superhero, Glorious Hero collection. I'm dropping it on the 28th. What's good? And then the next day,
He
that
died.
same
Yep.
day, he passed away. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I refrained from that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's so apropos because just a few podcasts ago, you were wearing the jacket you made. Uh,
absolutely. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So, and that was a tribute. So I might not have gotten a chance to do that, but when I sent that jacket to Dominique Thorne, who also worked with Chadwick Boseman, she had when I told her what I was wearing to the Comic Con, and she was like, "You better wear your stuff, black man." She said, "Shout, she better wear your stuff, black man." So, and I seen a video that resurfaced just this week of her and Chadwick Boseman because she was originally tried out to play Shuri, but the other actress got the job. But it still
mhm,
came full circle because she didn't get a chance to play Shuri, but she got a chance to play Ruby Williams in Black Panther too.
mhm.
So, how ironic is that? Wow, look at that. How ironic is that? Hey, you made me realize that, dog. That I sent the hoodie before. She was the first one that had eyes on the hoodie besides her and you. That seen the jean jacket with Chadwick Boseman tribute. Wore that at Comic Con. You know what I mean? Texted that, and she was like, "Yeah." I texted the Ironheart helmet that Girly had on too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So those things always brings joy to anybody's heart because even when the toys came out, the Ironheart toys, I texted that, and she said, "My mother don't even got one of these toys." I said, "Hey, look, check this out. If she don't got it by a certain time, she can have mine because that's Mom Dukes." I said, "Mom Dukes gotta have it." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She said, "No, no, no, that's cool, but thank you for," you know what I'm saying. And that was before the commission pieces that I did for her and her castmates for the Disney Plus series Ironheart materialized. That was before my uncle passed too. So yeah, man. But look, Jazz, look, man, we got about 5 minutes because I want to be loyal to the individuals that tapped in. But that, we have been on here for 44 minutes. I don't even feel like it, though, Doug. But you try to skate out on this, man. With the I was like, whoa. I was like, nah, what happened, man? But no,
As a matter of
man.
fact, you didn't tell me the other two dreams with your mom.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but there'll be another
Yeah,
time for another
yeah,
time.
dog. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the other two is what there's only one of them that's a little that she was smiling, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll chime in on that. in another episode. You know what I'm saying? Maybe March 6th, because March 6th is her birthday, and your birthday is March 1st. You know, my uncle' birthday was March 20th. So it's just angels. That's the Pisces, y'all Pisces gang, man. You know what I mean? Y'all, forget y'all. You know, so it's like nah, but
Right, right.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, man. Do you ever do you pray?
I do, man. Of course, of course.
What do you normally pray about?
I just pray. I just give thanks. I give gratitude. It's this
Mm-hmm.
thing that I started doing that I had got from this guy named TJ Titus. He talks about tacos. Tacos is thanking, you know, gratitude, acknowledging, um, and the C stood for I think the confessions. Forgive me, because it's still for confessions. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, the O stands for others, and the S stands for self. So you got thanks, you got acknowledge. You know what I mean? Acknowledgments. You have the confessions of your sins, and always for others. You like you're praying for others, and last but not least, you're praying for yourself, right? Because and then while you're praying for yourself, you in between listen and just be in silence, as far as just waiting for God to speak to you, or just being submissive by saying like, okay, what would you have me do today? Well, how would you want me to fulfill the purpose that you've put inside me while I'm on this earth? Why did you give it to me? And having that time, whether that it might not come all together, or you might not have time to do the whole. It's a whole practice, the whole tacos. You get what I'm saying? But it's in that. It's just it's not. It's in that going through the tacos that just doesn't allow it to be a microwave prayer. You get what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between the microwave prayers and the Hannah prayers. When Hannah was praying, people said they thought she was drunk. They're like, "Yo, what you drunk or something?" She's like, "No, no, I'm praying. I'm not. I'm praying in a way where it's like a drunkenness, but I'm sobbing." So people want to pray for things and quickly and think that they're going to get results. So sometimes you can pray in very small ways, but like I said, the intensity of the emotion is attached to the thought. You know what I mean? And even right now, as we're talking, right? If you haven't talked to God in a while, God is omnipresent. He listens. He's like, okay, they ain't talking for a while, but I'm gonna see what conversations he's having with Jazz. Or I'm gonna see what conversations he's having with Keys, because I'm always listening in, and I'm always willing, and I always want to uh, give you what you need. And it's whatever belief that anybody believes in. I just don't want to, because I know it's all types of viewers that views this, but it's also we have to center ourselves in a form of meditation. Whatever you feel like you need to do, um, that centering yourself, that grounding yourself is very important. Um, you know, and yeah, prayer is powerful. We can
Absolutely.
be driving and just listening to music, and it can be a sense of prayer. Because you ever be in the car sometimes and you just driving and you forget that you're driving and you ain't even sleepy, but you just driving and you forget that you're driving. Like, oh snap, like I'm driving, I'm on the road, like because you're in deep thought. That's like prayer. That's prayer. You know what I'm saying? So that's meditation. That's a form of just really, activating your zen. You know what I mean, if you will. So yeah, man. How about
Aligning
yourself?
those chakras. The
Yes.
funny thing is, you mentioned the tacos. I never heard of that before, but that's exactly how I pray.
Mm,
You
mm,
know what I mean?
mm,
I do a lot of thanking him for things.
mm, mm.
And this is a little TMI, but I'm it's just on my heart right now. But even when I'm making love to my wife, I pray when I'm making love.
Yep, yep, yep. That's a tool of manifestation as well. You can pray. It's many ways. That's why I said it's many ways you can pray. I said that's why I said driving. There's many ways you can pray. I was keeping it PG-13. I was talking about the GMG. Is
No,
what they said. Is what they say.
no, I mean it just because I remember when I like when we first got
Boom.
married. Right? when we when we first got married, bro, I that's when I started. I never prayed like having sex. You know what I mean? Or I don't call it making having sex. I make love to my wife. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes.
But but that's when I first started praying, and I remember Letty going, "What were you saying?" I said, "I was praying," and she said, "What were you saying?" I was just thanking God for
Mm,
you.
mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Thanking God that we can do this and it's okay in
mm,
his eyes. You know
mm,
what I mean?
mm. Amen.
Um, but I say all that to say you're absolutely right, bro. It's throughout the day, just like how some Muslims they may pray 5, 6,
Yes,
10 times a
yes,
day.
yes, dog.
You
Running
know,
circles, running circles among some people. You
right,
know.
right. But some do it out of commitment, and out of like the obligation. I
Yes,
have to do this.
yes.
No, no, that's one of the wonderful things about being Christian. Because it's free will.
Mm,
You talk
mm,
to God as much as or as little as you want. It's up to
mm,
you. But
mm.
it's just like how you and I talk. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's a relationship.
Yes,
So the
yes,
more I,
yes.
the more I talk to you, the more we converse, the better our relationship gets, the stronger
Absolutely,
it gets,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
I unload my problems onto you, to you unload your problems onto me.
Yep,
It's a give and take,
yep,
right?
yep.
Same with God. You talk to him more, the relationship grows.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
relationship.
It is. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Jazz. And I always talk about that too. I always talk about that it's more so relationship over religion. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because relationship, you can have religion, but if you have no relationship with, God or the Messiah, or if you have the marriage without the relationship with your partner, then how is the marriage going to work? Or if you have, so relationship is always important more so than just the actual title or the actual thing that you are, the union that you are in, but the relationship really opens up doors for both parties to open their hearts, for things to actually flow in the way that they should flow. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, bro, man, look at us, man. Look, I'm gonna get off here now, man, and get on this 4 a.m. session, dog. You got us started like right in the nick of time, man. But is there any closing remarks you'd like to add for the Jazz and Keys?
Just in the same vein, tacos. That should be the
Yes,
title.
tacos.
But when you're talking to God, you know, thank Him for all the things that we take for granted. Um, what did you say? The other one was like acknowledge,
Acknowledge. Yep, yep.
acknowledge, thank Him and acknowledge Him for the blessings in your life. Um,
Confession of what?
right,
See.
definitely. Talk to Him about what you need help in.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm. And they always
and
for others.
others, pray for others. Um, and
Yeah.
also thank Him for keeping the others that you're praying for
Mm,
safe.
mm, mm,
Um, that's what I do. Like a lot of like thinking in advance. You know what I mean?
mm,
Thanks for
mm,
keeping Keo safe. Thanks for keeping my
mm.
mom safe and healthy.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen. Amen.
And of course yourself.
Hmm.
But yourself, you know, God knows what you
He knows.
need.
He knows. So yeah.
so
You know what I'm
so
saying?
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I for
What happened, yo? You said for you what? You said for you.
what? That
Uh,
was weird.
He said, that's the devil, dog. That's the
Right.
devil.
But guess
Ah,
what?
get out of
But
here.
guess
Get
what?
out of
When
here.
when two or more,
Oh,
two or
gathered in his
more, right?
name.
Two or
Yes, but
more.
anyway, you said, but for you, and that was the last thing I heard in the feed.
I would just say, if you need to pray for yourself, then do that as well.
Indeed.
But yeah, man, tacos.
Tacos, baby. All right, that's what it is, man. I appreciate you, Jazz, Joe. Yo, like, yo, this is man, this is what's up. I hope y'all got some gems from this, man. So we can do this all day because that's what me and Jazz do. This is a relationship, friendship that we've grown over the years. Even when we didn't connect, we still knew that the fluid intelligence was there enough to know that, like, yo, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like back, like we never left. You get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that
Oh,
concludes to.
before we
Well,
go,
oh,
last
okay.
time I was talking about the load, like mental load, but I
Yeah,
actually meant, there is a mental load, but I was actually talking about decision fatigue.
decision fatigue. Yes,
Decision
yes,
fatigue. Anyway,
yes. Okay.
yes. Thank you guys. We love you, and we're out of here.
Oh, decision fatigue. That's probably also the reason why I've been like to be free, y'all. It's to be free. So be free to explore. Be free to be, you. Be free to just do whatever the hell you want. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Or
what's
you could
good?
DIY it. You could DIY it. Learn how to do it yourself.
Exactly, exactly. But all in all, just make sure you are free, free indeed. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Anyway, look, we out of here, y'all. We got to get out of here. I'm about to talk to Yo,
What? Hold on. Hold on. All right, all right. This last thing. This last thing. This that didn't sound like a phone conversation. How I'd be
right,
like,
right.
yo, hold on, hold on. All right, I'm gonna let you go, but hold on a second. Um, all right. So when you do your 4 a.m. joints, do you have like is it like every day you find something new, or do you do it like for the week? All right, this day I'm gonna talk about this. This day I'm gonna talk
I
about
do it.
that.
I do it 4 days a week, and I'm now letting each and every episode or each and every session fall into the other. Like yesterday, I talked about dreams, and then when I was talking about dreams, I talked about black, and then I said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to talk about black. I'm going to dedicate the next episode to black because I want to be able to talk about that that chapter in life when I first started designing clothes, and you're included in that as well because I met, I've been new black for a while, but we connected more when I graduated from high school. So
Hold
anyway, if
on.
you
The black isn't the one
Tavon,
with the brother Wayne, right?
no, 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 black was that. See, that was no, not that black. Dang, yo, geez, nah, that black is Jamel. You know what I'm saying? So I know two different blacks. I'm talking about Tavon,
Look,
Tavon from Lamb Barkley.
two different. All right, now this dude from Lanvin Barkley, did he have a cousin named Marcella?
I can't really call it. It might have, but he was Jamaican. He was Jamaican. His father was Jamaican. His father they stayed in the Orland Parkway area, but he originally was from Atlanta, Barkley. We even drove to around the way when we were selling our shirts, and people around the neighborhood they embraced him, so it was official. It was official tissue. But yeah, man.
All right, we out of
Look,
here.
yeah, dog. Come on, dog. Don't say, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. One more thing. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
You got Jazz. Yo, this is what
all
I want
right,
people to see. Like, sooner or later, y'all gonna get a chance to see this side of being Jazz Show because we ain't always serious, man. But in due time, y'all. In due time, man. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we just, we getting there. All right, man. Let
sure.
me get out here, man.
All right,
Keep
man.
my
Love you, man. Love you.
love you too, man. Love you too. Peace,
All right,
peace.
peace, peace.
All right.